And we are live. Hey, live for me. Welcome back to the podcast. Your Archangel Morningstar Michael. Very happy to be doing another video with you. I hope you enjoy it. So I have some paranormal, some paranormal history, science, and connecting the dots. So before we get into it, I would like to celebrate with 420. My mother smokes 420. She needs to because she recovered from cancer. And that chemotherapy messed her up a lot. So to my mother, and I will say for my brother from another mother, to his mother, who was born at 420. To mothers. Mothers, sons, daughters, and husbands. Family. So, the marijuana is digested. There's a dump truck outside. Hey, dump truck. Dump truck. Touchdown! But anyways, I digress. So let me get into it. First off, let me throw this at you. I got a couple of readings that I wrote out. I got into my paranormal zone, became a human walking, talking, writing Ouija board, as I am. And, the paranormal experience is real, and so is everything else, the science and whatnot. You see, this was something I came up with. I'll show it to you. You can kind of freeze it on your own time, really, but there it is. I know it looks crazy by just looking at it, but you gotta digest the information really carefully, and that's really what it comes down to. So you got that Uma UFO thing that they reported on 10/19/2017. So I was trying to decipher the information, see what I got out of it, and a little bit more came out. Circles on feet. Things like that. And circles on feet, you got a UFO. Oh no, look at that UFO. OUMUAM. Well, anyways, it looks like it says man when you get in there. You get man out of that, right? And OUC, the U and the C and the O. And then you've got the 10/19/2017 that happened 6 months later after the death, which is how this was discovered, they say, in a telescope in Hawaii. It's pretty interesting how it all works out. And a couple of circles there. 316. He doesn't want to be called 316. And then what else we got? Let's see, what else do I have? 6 months later, 666. Out of if you translate circles on feet, you get fingers, because someone used their fingers to get all that done. And then it was observed by an ET and God, an L. L is Hebrew for God. And in the middle of the word God, you have a big red circle. Pretty neat. Not good. He should at least be in a cell, eating some food, getting some medical help. That poor man. But no, he's dead. So we'll move on that, and plus the fake murders and the fake suicides, and the orchestration of it all. PCP, you know me. And I remember. Okay, so check it out. So Wallace, PCP, and a 45, and OC, and footprints, and a towel. A towel. You know what that reminds me of? Have you guys ever seen the cartoon South Park out of Colorado? And they have one character. He's called Towel. He's a towel. And the towel, he flies around everywhere. He's smoking marijuana. He's technically a government experiment. He's like, hey, you want to get high? Towel-y. I don't get it, but I just think it's hilarious how that, how we got towel and marijuana and government experiments in Colorado and all the rest of it all thrown into it. You know what I mean? So, shit. Doesn't make Colorado bad. That's a badass fucking cartoon. Let's give it up. Goes up there with Family Guy and what else we got? The Simpsons. I hope I don't get in trouble for singing that song. So, what do we got? So, yeah, the man's brain is taken over by much more than just CTE. And then, so once upon a time, when that was happening, the time, I'm gonna get a little Hunter S. Thompson on you because I love that guy. We gotta flavor this up, So what's up is, once upon a time in Rhode Island, my wife and I, Patriot fans, Tom Brady fans, Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez, the whole works, from the ownership down to the towel boy, to the water boy, everything, all great. It's one big machine. I fucking love it. They make it all happen, not just one player. It's all of it. Even the guys that clean up the field, right? So my ex-wife and I were find out that Aaron Hernandez jersey was being traded. Switching jerseys, JS, switching jerseys, yeah. And so the most popular jersey that came back was Vince Wilfork. Wow. Anybody that knows anything about anything, anyone that knows anything about Vince Wilfork on the New England Patriots, he's a god on the field like the rest of them. So, of course we want his jersey, right? Even him, on a good day, even Mr. Hernandez, I'm sure, would say, you know what? Making a joke of it all, yeah, I do love that man too, and of course you'd want his jersey. He kills it out there. He's a good example too. And he has a wife that loves him, watches over him, and makes sure he's okay and all that. And then the whole family. Yeah, I thought it was interesting because people at the time were telling me that I looked like Aaron Hernandez, and one time I went there and a friend was even like, hey, can you give me a Hernandez jersey? I was like, yeah, and I even thought about getting one for myself. I didn't get one for myself. The only reason was I just didn't have enough money. That was the only reason. I didn't have enough money, so I never got one. Well, I got one now. And then all that stuff happened, where the murder, finding out there's all these murders we didn't know about, and then the jersey trades. Switching jerseys. Either way. Trafficking Jesus, Joseph Stalin, whatever. Switching out the jerseys. And then Vince Wilfork, which was awesome because, if I don't mind me saying, my ex-wife's name starts with a V and ends with a W, like Vince Wilfork. It's pretty cool. So I was like, hey, she is better than I am. Guarantee you that. So, and one more time, cheers, women. Vince Wilfork. You know what I love about Vince Wilfork? Can I just say this before I go on? Is that there was a time that I remember seeing it on TV where people were watching Vince Wilfork and what he was doing on his own time, right? And you gotta love this. Come on, like, you gotta feel this with your heart, right? He's in his backyard. He's got his ass in the air. He's just dancing like a I don't want to say like a fool, like a dumbass. He's fool, like the guy's just having a great time. He's glorious. He's having a beautiful time. He's amazing. He's bringing the forest in the backyard alive. And he's cooking ribs. And then he's down there like this. He's like got his dance. He's got his all dancing, and he's got his hands in there, and he's like, you see, he's in his own zone. He's like, they're probably sucking on his fingers and shit for no gloves, right? People are like, oh my God, look at him, he does it. It's like, man, they're worried about how he's cooking his ribs. I'm like, listen, time out, buddies. Time out. Those are his ribs. He can cook those ribs any way he wants. That's his backyard. And you know something? It looked fun watching him cook those ribs, and he enjoyed them, I bet. I bet you anything that he enjoyed those ribs. Not only did he enjoy cooking it, he also enjoyed eating it. He's not one of those people that cooked it and hated cooking it and ate it because he had to, or doesn't like cooking and then eats it. You know what I mean? He doesn't enjoy the whole flow of how it all became from A to B, or A to Z, I should say. So watching him dance there and cooking his ribs, come on, man. That's that right there. That's the Garden of Eden. That's what I'm talking about. That's heaven on earth. So if someone's watching him, they don't like the way he cooks his ribs. Hey, you know what? I bet you anything, Vince Wilfork doesn't care about how you cook your ribs. What do you think? I bet you that's true. Anyways, I like to throw bets out there. Bets and bites. So, moving forward, Scorpion brother, Aaron Hernandez. Look at. This isn't, I don't do this. First off, there's no reason. The only reason I do this is because there is a spiritual connection for Aaron Hernandez and I. And within that, there's a spiritual connection with the earth and the whole environment and everything else, and here we are today. Discovering reality. You know? So, double A, hey, he does got 2 A's in his name, Alexander Bradley. I guess you didn't know that. So why'd you call him double A? For the bodies? I gotta tell you, that doesn't even make any sense. I heard your, and I hope you don't mind the pun here, I heard your one-eyed testimony. I gotta tell you, there's another reason why he's calling him double A, because he was brainwashing that dude, right? Whether if you realize it or not. So that's what that is. And him doing forced suicide notes that he didn't really want to do the day before his mom's birthday, and then having that signed over, and then having that message sent over to President Trump while they're in the White House with a bunch of patriots. That's just shit. That shit doesn't fly with me. But you know, I'm from New England. That's how I feel. And not only again, this guy shot somebody in Florida. Okay, well, where's that Florida Super Bowl ring? Anyone seen it? Mr. Kraft has not seen his ring at all. I know he's been looking for it. I know he's asked for it. Sure, even if he doesn't ask for it, he'd still like it back. I bet you if it was on his desk, he'd be like, you know something? That's fucking awesome. But even though after all this shit, what the fucking difference does it make, you know? But then again, we have to keep going. Why? Because the other side won't stop. So you gotta keep on rolling. Just to roll the way the planet Earth just always has been. Not like a dung, like the dung beetle in Egypt. It takes shit and just rolls it into a ball and eats it. You don't want planet Earth like that. You don't want that. That's the opposite. You don't want a full of shit planet with bugs all over it. It's fucking it up. So, too much chaos. It's like the Wild Wild West with chaos. Not good. So let's move forward. All right, so we got this interpretation I have. Oh, wait a minute. Before I show you this, check this out. Oh, what the hell? I'll show you this first. All right. So you got Kingdom, right? You like my interpretations? And then you get Mike Bong. You got me right here. And there's my Bong over there. Even though I'm over here on this side. Even though we're on different sides, it's the same. We're still together. 420. And not only that, I must say, I bought this beautiful bong in Providence, Rhode Island. Providence. Because Providence, what's that called? The Eye of Providence? Hey, this opens up my third eye. For me, it does. in moderation. Don't get me wrong. Too much can be too much. Just like anything else. But hey, look at Mike Bong, smoking my bong. Mike, I'm in my kingdom, over here chilling. And you can get Komodo dragon out of there. But wait a minute, you've got an RA in there. RA for Ra, and Ra is within the sun. Then you break it down more, right? And you got okay mood, your mood okay, good, good. You know, the RA that had to be included out of the sun, right? Yo, kingdom could have done, you know. So it's just the way it is. Look at it. It's harder to explain it, but there you are. And then if you want to replace the O with an E, you break that down even some more. And if you look at moon, it's kind of like M for Mars, and the O's for 2 moons, and the N is like the bolt of lightning. Isn't that cool? So you get all those interpretations. Where do you get them from? Hey. 2012, Shaman Street, huh? Shamans. Shaman. What do shamans do? Marijuana and mushrooms and things like that? You ever seen that music video with Chevy Chase and Paul Simon? He does that dance. It's funny, right? I know what it is. All right. So what was I gonna get into? Oh yeah, ribs. Let's talk about ribs. So I love the rib story with the rib story and the Jersey story. I hope you enjoy those about Vince Wilfork, only because there's certainly a connection there. And not only that, it goes into this. Once upon a time, there was a man named Drew Bledsoe. He took us to a Super Bowl and lost. Lost to the Green Bay Packers, to damn, I hate it when I forget names right off the rip. And I've seen his name. That happens to me sometimes with memory. And I'm trying to remember a name. Boom, it's not there. Brett Favre. Brett Favre. So they won. That's like the only Super Bowl I ever remember watching back in my younger days. The only one I ever saw. And then I saw the rest of them since then. Like when I got into Patriots and I started watching all the New England Patriots Super Bowls. But Drew Bledsoe lost. He comes back to play. Somewhere down the line, long story short, biblical terms, he lost some ribs, right? At the end of the day. You know? So once he broke his ribs, he couldn't play. And he was pretty hurt. He couldn't go back in. So then we had to put the backup in. Biblical times? Try Tom Brady. Let's see what we got. Man, can he play as a team player. And he studies hard. And he loves his dad. Loves his family. Loves his players. He loves everyone about him. Loves everything. Plays the game for the game itself because he just loves being a football player. And there's nothing else he'd rather do. When you're really fucking good at something and you're that fucking nice, and you're that good of a person, that's exactly how you feel. So, Tom Brady, the greatest greatest quarterback of all time, hands down. You can't pocket quarterback, killed it, kills it. Rip your defense apart like Mike Tyson in his prime. And if he can't, he's got a damn good enough team now to help him do it. And when they can't, he helps them, and back and forth. And all. And at the end of the day, it wasn't he and her, he and he and he. It was the whole team, everyone, whole team. WTET, whole team. So that's how I like that. Hope you're enjoying the program, folks. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome So, yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, so, oh yeah, yeah. So let's talk. Let's make two jokes with Chris Rock and Will Smith real quick because I love them both actually. To be honest with you, at the end of the day, even if I don't like or like anything about them, at the end of the day, when you get all the smoke and flame out of the air and you look at them both and you're like, hey, to be honest with you, I love them both. Fuck it. Too bad they can't get along. Oh well. So let's move forward. They both made me happy. Will Smith slaps Chris Rock in the face. The good joke is this. What do you get when Will Smith slaps Chris Rock in the face? Fresh Prince. Right? Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince. Hey, a Fresh Prince. So, and then after that, the good thing, here's a funny thing about Chris Rock. Why am I getting him confused? I love Chris Tucker. He's not the same person. Anyways, Chris Rock did a skit in a movie where he asked for one rib. And he goes into the store and he's like, hey, I'm not going to fuck it up for you, but basically at the end of the day, when you go into a store, you're buying like a rack of ribs, pound of ribs, whatever. He just wants one rib. Who on earth or in this universe asked for one rib? What would you need one rib for? He wants to eat one rib. But I love the story of Genesis. And if you take the word Genesis, Genesis, and you take the is on the end, and you keep them as is and put them in front, space-wise, you have is genes, is genetics, is S-I-L-V-I. The is S-I backwards for S-I-L-V-I-A, right? The starting Roman Empire. Romans, the Bible, history, religion, science, it's all there. It's all compiled together. It's not separate. It all came from the same place and is still originating from that still today. No matter how you look at it. Football stadiums, great. They all look like coliseums from Rome at the end of the day. That's what they look like. Just a little bit more curvature or whatever. And much more technology, and people are happy. And people aren't getting killed. They're just counting numbers and going home and getting paid for it. So sports are good, and the ribs. So then in the Bible, right, it talks about Adam's apple. Bite the apple. All right. So then Adam, they say in the story that he goes into a deep sleep. God puts him asleep. It puts him in deep sleep because things they're saying, right, didn't work out with Lilith. So it now works out with Eve because he takes from the rib, clones her, so therefore they're alike. So, and I'm sure there's more to the story if we're going into all the science, right? If you're looking to go into the theory of say, okay, there's ancient science going on that we just don't have any evidence of, but there's enough going on to say, okay, something had to happen way back then for us to have those stories today, and it plays itself out the same way they wrote it back then in some way. So, not some way, but it just plays itself back out. So, and don't get me wrong, there are coincidences in life. Don't get me wrong, but then there aren't, right? And then there's people that they know they aren't and just say they are. So we go there, and then what else? Coffee and marijuana. Coffee and marijuana. Candles and incense. Magic. Cam, you see Archangel Michael. Colorado and Massachusetts. Right? Those nice places, I like those places here and there. there and here. There and here and there. Here and there. Oh, I like that one. Black hat, black hole, the universe. They say that in the center of the Milky Way, in the very center is a black hole. Someone's trying to call me. Bad timing. But not everything goes there. And that's it. Isn't that pretty cool? So, when the sun dies, perhaps a black hole is formed. And it's not just me. You could take me out of the equation and it all comes back to life all over again, just through someone else, all through the world for a long ass time. Somehow, some way, it just happens. Just like how science is found, just like how math is found, just like how when the bees from all around the globe had no cognition of each other at all, no internet, no phone, no texting, no shit, but they're all making beehives. Okay, well, they all are organized that way on purpose by Mother Nature. Okay, well, just like everything else. Then on we go with how we want to produce the world. So it's good to know that Mother Nature pays attention. Yeah. So it's a good one. So, shout out to family, right? Shout out to family. And yes. Aaron Hernandez. He loved football. He loved his girl. He loved Shay. He loves his girl. He loves his daughter. He does. We know he does. In the afterlife and beyond, it never ends. And then his mother, of course, she gave him life. From her, he was born. His Mary. So, it's a beautiful thing when a good man who was satanically cursed can be ridden of this satanic curse, even in the afterlife, to where he goes to hell, I guess. Satan looks at him, knows the entire story. He's like, you shouldn't even be here. So, nor should the other people, like Odin Lloyd, same. Guy looks at him, looks at Satan, they both look at each other, like, wow, these guys ain't supposed to be here. What's going on? So, Odin Lloyd, 27. Aaron Hernandez, 27 in 2013. I've got the incense going. Here's one of my candles. Hernandez, Mr. Hernandez, believed in God, still does, and so do I. So do a lot of people. It's not, and don't get me wrong, you can take a Knights Templar back in the Friday the 13th times, which is what happened. Take him to a chamber, torture the fuck out of him, boil his feet off, which is a real story. This actually happened back in the day when the Knights Templar was taken over by government and a bad pope, bad king, bad pope. Excuse me. So, bad king, bad pope. So, with that, they boiled his feet off and all torture, and then he changed his tune. Okay, because the pain was so much, he just, obviously he's going to say whatever they want. I mean, so you got him to say it, then you wrote it down, then he passed it along, and you guys said that's what he said, and that's the history. Okay, well, obviously we're seeing through all of that right now, right? So, yeah, things have certainly evolved since then. Fresh greens. Yeah, yeah, I would think that Aaron Hernandez. Yeah, there's no way that he's not deeply sorry for all those positions he was in. 12, 13, 2000, 2012, 2013. What else? You got Florida, that's 2000. See, I always have to look at my notes. But the Florida, so when he was, how old was he? 17? 27. I'm sorry, he was 17. 1-7. Well, there you go. That's messed up. You don't do that to people. No. Yeah, just thinking out loud. I'm sorry. Just Mr. Aaron Hernandez. But yeah, 45 never found. Aaron Hernandez. Aaron and Ernest. Aaron and Alexander. Yeah. Yeah, they'll always keep lying about Aaron Hernandez. There's no question. Too much money was spent. I mean, think about it. So you're calling him Double A Alexander Bradley. Fine. And then you got the gay kid coming out of prison with a book and a nice lawyer. Go figure he gets a lawyer like that. Writes a book, which you know he didn't do it by himself. You know the kid didn't write that book by himself. And then he wants to call him AAA. So we're going from AA to AAA, like I said, artificial intelligence and batteries, and keeping him under the radar so he doesn't know what he's. Trigger finger, forgetful thoughts. So, hey, I mean, you know, when guns are still missing and footprints aren't all collected and everything's rushed, you gotta kind of wonder, you know, I'll forget it. Let's just make fun of the towel. You want to get high? Right? That's what he says in the cartoon. Now, what if, here's a fucked up joke. Yeah, never mind. No fucked up jokes, Michael. Okay. So we've got the Holy Bible. And there's a lot of interpretations and codes in it. Mind you, let's go into something fun too. Sir Isaac Newton. S-I-N, sin. Sir Isaac Newton. So, what I like to examine about him is the fact that, let's go with what he said and what actually happened. Like there was a disease upon the world, Black Plague. He's in England where many inventions were figured out. Can't say that for a lot of other places. When you know, a lot of places there's other inventions. But I'm saying that in England, I mean, shit. If we want to talk about balloons, right? Did you know that the balloons were invented by a scientist named Michael in England? He invented the balloon. I forget his last name is. I'll remember his first name because my name is Michael. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I like that shit. I love balloons. And they're also meant to be popped. So, you know, that's how it goes. And, pop goes the weasel, right? Remember that big balloon? Hey, big balloon. So, where else can we go with this? All right. Where was I going? Damn, I must have lost my thought. Oh, yeah. Isaac Newton, Sir Isaac Newton. So, Sir Isaac Newton, Sir for serpent, right? Because they knew all about ancient Egypt too, better than anyone else on the planet. Because their ancestors came from there and ruled it. It is what it is. Can't get away from it. People don't like the history, too bad. Oh well. Pick at it all you want. You can pick at your shit too. And then on it goes. But it is what it is. But moving forward, let's stick with the language. So English, which is what he spoke, this is what we're talking, this is what we're speaking. You're speaking English here. And hey, I love the language. To English. E.T. To English. Tight end. To English, Aaron. To English, tight end. We're all connected. We're all related. One way or another. Brother from another mother. All right. So my Scorpion brother Aaron, spiritually with us, of course. And I'll show you this one too. Like, I mean, why not? I mean, shit, it's here. I mean, it's God's word, right? I mean, if God, the word God, go do good, which is what you see. And I had a friend, he made fun of it and called it odd. Okay. If that's your perspective, then that's what you see. And that's the difference in coding. And you know what I mean? Like what you perceive. And if that's what you see, then change it up. There's a lot of other things you can do with that. But let's go with the higher order, positive, which is what we have. So in the higher order, you have go do good. And how do you do that? God works through you. How does God work through you? Man, it's an energy source, whatever the hell he is, and how it works through us. That started at the beginning of the fucking universe, and here it all is. With everything attached to it, and all the made up shit, and all the extra made up shit that came with it. And all this other stuff that's made up, I'm willing to bet if you look into it harder, whatever, civilizations, what they believed in. I mean, somewhere along the line, there's something there, like whatever it is, Stonehenge, it wasn't there for nothing, right? The moon. Who doesn't love the moon? I love the moon. So anyways, sun and moon, SAM. So you got SC Scorpio, right? Or the H. SCR Scorpio. H can be an I too. That way it stays connected. Even if it goes the other way, it doesn't matter. Scorpio. How about this? Goes right down the line, and then there's the sun right there. Scorpio. Holy. So I think Aaron Hernandez, that what he had in potential was much more than what was pushed down on him subliminally without his knowledge. On from the beginning to the end. That's what a good God would tell you. Through anybody that believes in God. So, yeah. Yeah, so the gay kid calling him AAA, yeah, because of the batteries, yeah. I mean, the bodies. Batteries, bodies, batteries. How about this? Here's a bite or a bet I can give anybody. Of course, you can always forge up anything, but even when they do that, you'll figure it out down the road. So here it goes. Now the gay kid with the fourth suicide note and the book and the lawyer and that he wrote and all this shit and everything he's saying so true. He's saying that there's also an extra body. Okay, cool. Where is it? Hey, Aaron, where's the extra body? So he's like, man, they killed me before I could do it. Before they can make me do it. You know what I mean? There would have been one, but they killed me first. So they couldn't do it again. You know what I mean? To get me to where I'm at now. So that's why there's no extra body. There's your answer. So when they're running around for this extra body that they're never gonna freaking find for Aaron Hernandez, and it turns into a freaking nothing rabbit hole, let this black hole just help you out with that answer right now. Actually, go ask them. Figure that shit out. I'd love to see where that goes. Waste that money. In fact, it's not a waste of money because even when you look into it at the end of the day, when you find nothing, you can at least say you confirmed it. And there you go. Why not? Is he telling the truth? I know he isn't. She looks too much like a goddamn movie. Like a movie. Like fake reality pressed upon me to make me believe it. But that's how it is. And that's just my impression of it. You know? Sucks what happened to Odin Lloyd. That pisses me. Dude, I'll tell you what, please don't think that I don't think anything of his victims deserve what they got. They didn't deserve that either. Like he didn't deserve what he got. They didn't deserve what they got. No one deserved any of that shit. It was beyond any of their control anyways. When you really look at it. Alright? What's everyone doing? Staring at cell phones. What are they doing? Everyone's all crazy. It's all, what do they call it? Astronauts, rats and ants. I'll tell you what. Let me show you something. I'll write something else for you. Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to write it. But anyways, yeah, forget it. It's already going to be like astronauts, I can't even think of how to spell it right now, but it doesn't matter. I'll do it next time. Astronauts. But when you do astronauts correctly, you can get rats, ants on. On is in the middle, rats on one side, ants on the other. Ants. Ant. The zombie apocalypse. Plenty of forms of it all over the place. It's everywhere. And then you got rat. Robots and I'm going to say the T word, not because I want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't want to do anyone that's a good person that fits in this category, but unfortunately, there's a lot of programming in the people that's not supposed to be done on purpose, and it's transforming it on a scale that's never been seen before. But we're talking about transgenders too, so it's like, wow, never seen so many transgenders in our lives. Which, not beating on ones that are healthy that want to be that. I'm just saying there's ones that are being made that and then later on being like, well, this is what I wanted to be. And then they're all fucked up and it's like, you don't do that to people like that. There's other shit going on more. There's always is. There's always all these scams going on out there. And did I read that? Can I confirm it? Listen, let's be real what's going on with a lot of medicine out here. A lot of these corona shots got people sick. They did. So, did everyone get sick from them? No. A lot of people did. So, call it conspiracy theory if you want. But real medical records are real medical records, right? So, anyways, 420. Cheers. All right. So, okay. So where are we going to go with this? Obviously, at this point, the U.S. government protects their own. And that's what it is. Brainwashing citizens and children and everybody out here, and cons and football players and everyone else, and all the walkie-talkies floating around. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, we need Mayberry, right? Mayberry right here. You know what Mayberry is? Mayberry is the Andy Griffith Show. Remember the Andy Griffith Show? That's what I'm talking about. That's America. But anyways, I love you guys. I hope you guys are having a great time. Don't mean to go into anything negative with the paranormal reading with Aaron Hernandez and all that happened to him from 17 up, or 16 up really, and then, well, actually 6 years old, right? So, okay, so there's a lot more going on there that's induced rather than saying, yeah. So obviously I'm not going to bother to watch the Netflix program because this is going to be a waste of time. Just because a lot of money was spent on something, that doesn't mean it's telling the truth. I'm telling you all the truth, or whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. So, and let me just take one more hit of 420 before we go. A hit of 420. All right. I got a biblical one for you. Here's one, and it goes in with this a little bit. Pyramids, because like there was a pyramid on the wall in his cell. The all-seeing eye of God, like the what do you call it? The eye of providence was on there. Eye of providence was on there. The all-seeing eye of God on the wall in blood. Middle finger. Right? So, anyways, in the pyramids of Giza, right? And anyone can debate how old they are. 10,500 BC. Nothing in there to debate how old they are. There's no evidence of how old they actually are, other than the fact that we know, like, older than those teeny tiny ones next to them that are built around them. Nothing in comparison to the real ones, the three originals, like the three pyramids of Giza that align with Orion's belt. Orion's belt. Okay? So, since that's the case, there's 3 chambers in each pyramid. 6, 3, 6, 9. So you have 9, right? You have 9. So it's 3 and 9, which is pretty cool. 3, 6, 9, 3 6s, 9s are 6s. And in each chamber you had a sarcophagus or a body, a king, a god, whatever it is, with whatever science they had at the time that they preserved in these 3 time capsules that the stars align with and everything else. Longitude, latitude, jokingly the butt plugs of Africa and the Middle East, so that anything coming in and out of on foot gets captured down there. True. I mean, it's a joke, but but in a nice way, yeah. Like if you were going through there, hey, welcome to Egypt. So, so anything that would have been in there, because when you read about the history, as we're told, they say that there was nothing found in them. Okay, everything else has something in them. They're all about 4,000, 2,000 years old. That's cool. We get that. But the older ones, what was in those ones? And that's where you get down to, okay, now we're getting into a whole nother history that has nothing to do with black and white at all, or China or anything. Everything, lots of creation going on down there, lots of creation. It's a lot to think about. I like that. And they also smoked, right, their own marijuana, and impressive the history that we have, and the history that there is beyond written history. In any personal life, it's that way. No matter who you are on this planet, when you die, there'll always be more to the story than what's been recorded. Every single time. Because even to the exact detail, it's kind of like what happens. It's just, I don't know. Not wrong, but all right, slash that back, what I just said. Okay. Oh, okay. I finished my coffee. Damn it. Let me drink my water. So what else do we have with Aaron? Yeah, the pyramids of Giza, impressive. Giants. Only one pyramid ever has been found that's an actual pyramid that was bigger than those in Mexico. But again, conquistadors go down there, and what do they find? Literally. Let's just be honest. Emperors eating and sacrificing women and children on top of temples. Alright, well, if that's what you use them for, and then get rid of the cannibalism and the deep satanic shit that's fucking disgusting. All the things they were doing. Burn all the fucked up bark books. Bark, bark, bark. See this dog's barking? Bark, bark, bark. You know why? Because there's a devil dog all the way down that they talk about in ancient Egypt that weighs souls. Bark, 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 bark. They had bark books? Bark books. No, not anymore. We don't need them. We don't believe in that shit. So, look at sacrificing, and then people want to do what? Read that again and get it all in their head and want to recreate it because they can? No, thank you. We already see that shit coming, so that's what it is. So that's what they thought. Then they did it, and then when they got to that big pyramid, at the end of the day, when you do the history, they knocked it all down to a stump, where you still see the stump, and on top of the stump is a church. And on the church is a cross, and that is for Jesus Christ, and that is for God, and that is for the holy of doing all that what's good in the higher order, not some, sleazy, snaky, disgusting, deep satanic, fucked up, whatever the fuck is going on with the evil world. Sanity and good always prevails. You always go with the good fight. So what do you get? Pyramids, fine. They put a pyramid in a cell, fine. Got breaking down. There it is. We know what happened. All right? Pyramids. Bodies. Technology. Language. Police sirens. Hear it? Nice. Because you always root for the cops. The good fight. Because good cops did work on this case, and I would hate to think that good cops got duped, because you don't want that shit. They want to do the right thing. They don't want to get shit on or do the wrong thing. They got kids too. They don't want their kids to turn up like this. And when that shit's real, that shit's real. That's it. Paranormal investigations. So, like I said, look it. When you digest history, you can't look at all of it. Like we're gonna do all of it. No, man. It's like I'm just saying. I'm starting to analyze a lot of these schools. Not all, right? Because there's good ones. Excuse me. Yeah. So, I would hate to think, and it is true, one more time, leave it alone. Chauvin Street, off Chauvin Street, red light. Then off the street in Florida, red light. More than one person. So, in the end of the day, they knew how to program him. It's like whatever it takes. Get that gun in his hand and be able to get him to pull that fucking trigger. And in some cases, even if he did this at all. Or everyone was. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, who knows? But, Wow, what a case, right? So George Washington. Like I showed you the penny and the quarter. You know, so they're both facing the same direction now. And check this out. Here's what I also like. The rest of the change still faces the other way. That's okay. Here's why. Because at the end of the day, all that change comes together and it still amounts to something. Every time you spend it. That's how much they're all worth together. And I like that one. Like that change? I like that change. Even opposites attract. Because they're all worth the same. No, you know what I mean. They make a good team. One piece of change is a quarterback. One piece of change could be a running back. One piece of change. I mean, like, who knows? I mean, how you want to defer power and team and change and energy. The correspondence of energy to money, money to energy. It takes energy to make money. It takes energy to make money. Everything is energy. Energy comes from people. So people matter. Without that, without that kind of thinking, I'm thinking that whole world just dissolves into a rotten apple with ugly worms. Rotten apples and worms. Yeah, good apple, good oranges, good pears, good peaches. Peaches. All right. I love pineapple. Damn, that's dirty now, huh? It was clean right when I started. Well, that's why I keep cleaning it for. Thank you for our lady and ladies. Clean it. God bless them. God bless everyone. I really mean that. So, anyways, I know I'm being a slow poke, and I'm just like, kind of like turning into a zombie in front of you. Not a real zombie. I'm getting tired. So I'm gonna let it go. We got into the ribs. Will Fork, Chris Rock, Will Smith, and yeah, Brady kicked ass. Kicked ass for us the whole time he was here. Whole time, the whole team, everyone that was ever on, all the ones I'm not thinking of. They all matter. So, even down to the water they get to drink, so they can go back on the fields. It's all blessings. Blessings from blessings from blessings from blessings. That are from miracles, that are from miracles, that are from miracles. And one more time, your breath, when you take a breath, call it biology, but I think it's a miracle. It's pretty nice. Still no exact explanations for everything yet. So aliens, outer space. I'll tell you what, you don't have to be crazy to imagine that. And I do respect that one physicist. He says, and I'm just kind of joking around because I do respect him, I love him, like him, and everything. He's like this. He's like, oh, I don't know. I don't think there's anything out there. It's too far away. So yeah, probably, but probably not. You don't know. It only takes one time, two times maybe. You know what I mean? And it affects everything. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But it's fun to think about. Yeah, outer space. Space. so Mr. Hernandez. Oh yeah, so ancient Egypt was called Kemet, right? Which sounds like Kermit to me. Remember the Muppets? I loved the Muppets when I was a kid. Kermit, Kemet, the frog, the prince, the lizard, the lizard king, or the. I love Pigs in Space. I thought it was fantastic. I love it. I really do. I don't care. Can't take that away from me. I also love everything that there ever was about the Muppets. I can think of it. Now that I think of it. If I ever thought there was anything stupid of it, I was wrong. I was an idiot. I love the Muppets. The Muppets, baby. That's right. And then the Muppets. But anyways, I digress. So, Mr. Hernandez, right, born 6 days after me, our connection there. And then, also, right, Italian and Puerto Rican. Probably a lot more there, but that's the information we have. And I like it. Puerto Rican, Italian. That's some high power right there. That's a strong, he was strong. I bet you when he was born, he was strong, right? Kept him strong as much as they could, as much as she could, as much as he could. So it's a tough world. Not everyone's living the same reality, and it's a shame what happened. So rest in peace to everyone with Aaron Hernandez. Well, everything that happened in this case, the victims. It's a shame. Because you don't want to think that something like that happens after we had such a dynasty. That someone had a dynasty. Dynasty? Die nasty, right? It's die nasty. So, nasty, this is nasty die. I hate to be your trick or treat Halloween joke, you know what I mean? But it's like, it is what it is, right? Fucking. So we just let it go, not let it go, but it's like this conspiracy theory here goes beyond conspiracy theory. It's which is exactly what happened to him. In some cases, over and over again. So Mr. Hernandez. Scorpio, November 6th. Born in Connecticut, so was my sister. I lived in Connecticut for a while as a kid. On a military base. But anyways. Connecticut, Rhode Island, New England. So I feel for him when I'm like, okay, everyone's talking about natives, and all this brainwashing. I was like, wow, a lot more going on here, dude. A lot more going on. All right, but here's what I'm going to do. Just do some positive shout outs. Positive shout outs because